Does Ryan truly believe that, or is he just saying that because he hates giving credit to the white folks that are quarterback? No, Andrew Luck ended up as a quitter. I'm surprised they didn't say that Anthony Richardson is a generational talent, particularly the white guys at ESPN. They're scared to death. What a day last night. And by the way, before we get into it, we'll get into the football game and we'll get into Jalen Carter. But I got to tell you, anybody bitching, whining, and moaning about Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts can suck it. Those two guys can play. Those two guys are good dudes, winning dudes. Those two guys can play. All right, Dak Prescott got beat, so everybody's going to bitch, whine, and moan at him and CeeDee Lamb. But get off of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a great player, and he's fun to watch, and Jalen Hurts is the same, and they're both good dudes, so suck at any of you that are nasty on either of those two. No, it pissed me off yesterday watching that game and listening to idiots on the internet and everywhere else talking about how those two can't play. Did you know Dak Prescott made Mississippi State the number one team in the nation under Dan Mullen? Did you know that? That's the kind of good dude Dak Prescott is. I digress. Let's get into Ryan Clark. You know, Ryan Clark is one of our favorites to come at because he's truly the dumbest and most racist ex-NFL player to ever grace the airwaves of the woke ESPN era. He is. And good for him. He's making himself a lot of money. He cries on camera. He takes his people out there. He does his videos. And you know what? We're talking about him, so good for him. In his latest act of stupidity, he went on First Take and claimed that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees were not generational talents. Well, he might be right. He might be when it comes to, well, if you're going to compare talent of running and jumping like an Anthony Richardson. Or you remember Jake Locker? I remember when Jake Locker came out. I remember liking Jake Locker. I heard an interview that I read about Jake Locker, and he was like this freak athlete. Daniel Jones is like some freak athlete, if that's what you mean by generational talent. I don't know. Does Ryan truly believe that, or is he just saying that because he hates giving credit to the white folks that are quarterback? No, I think he believes that. I think he believes, like a lot of dumb people do, that generational talent means that you can run really fast and jump really high and look really good at the combine. Generational talent in the NFL now is being able to combine great running skill, reading the pocket like you saw last night by two terrific quarterbacks, and, of course, the ability to throw the ball in a teacup, which you actually saw Dak Prescott do, except CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch it off his face sometimes. Anyway, I digress. Of course, Ryan Clark will get this messed up because that's what Ryan Clark does. He can't wait to screw things up. But, hey, what are you going to do? It is what it is. That's the way he rocks and rolls. All right, here is what Clark had to say below, and then we'll discuss.
Few of them. I think there's less than what you think. I think John Elway was a generational talent. I think Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent. I don't think Tom Brady, I don't think Drew Brees, I don't think Peyton Manning are generational talents. I think Andrew Luck ended up being a generational talent. I don't think there's a ton of them out there.
But so then what? Then how does one, in your eyes, be a generational talent? Because there's not a lot of difference.
Production. Let me chime in here because I love the argument back and forth between y'all. I ain't trying to get in the way of it. But here's the reality. The operative word here is, do you believe Arch Manning is a generational talent? He could be, but he's not.
Why not?
Not yet. What have you seen to say that he is?
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence.
Well, I mean, here's what it is. He's able to run and jump. I mean, that's what he's talking about. Like, you know, this is where guys get really confused. I understand what Clark's trying to say. He's trying to say that these guys weren't great athletes because you always compare a generational talent to a John Elway. Now, he said that Andrew Luck ended up as a generational talent. No, Andrew Luck ended up as a quitter. Now, that's what Andrew Luck ended up as. See, the guys that he's claiming aren't generational talents won Super Bowls. And in fact, if you think about it, all three of them took bad teams and made them Super Bowl champs. The Colts sucked. That's how they got Manning. New England didn't really suck. Bledsoe was okay, but they became a generational team. Drew Brees, all due respect to everybody that played around him, have you heard anything from New Orleans since Drew Brees led them over the Colts? And a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful decision to onside kick to start the second half that Hank Basket let go off his head or his hands or his ass or his girlfriend's tits. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, if you look at those guys that he used as not being generational talents, not only were they great quarterbacks, but they took franchises to a next level. See, I would argue this. If you're going to go with talent, you're going to tell me Arch Manning is a generational talent. I would say to you right now, would you rather have Jane Daniels or Arch Manning? Right this moment, who would you rather have? Jalen Hurts or Arch Manning? Right this moment, would you rather have Dak Prescott or Arch Manning? I think the answer is very, very easy. I mean, you could argue, and I'm surprised they didn't say this, I'm surprised they didn't say that Anthony Richardson is a generational talent. I mean, he's bigger than everybody else. He's faster. While he's bigger, he's quick. But can't play quarterback. What are you talking about? Are you talking about athletic ability? Everybody talks about John Elway. You know, John Elway came out as a generational talent. They said he's always the guy that is compared. Big, strong, throw the ball. But there were guys before him. There were guys like James Harrison before him, Dan Pastorini before him, big, strong guys. You know, Dan Marino was right around his same time, big, strong guy. Peyton Manning's a big, strong guy. If you see Peyton Manning in person, he's about 6'5". Stand next to Tom Brady sometime, he's huge. You know, they don't get the credit. Now, Drew Brees not quite that. But what is it? So I get what he is saying, and I don't think it has anything to do with black or white. Well, it might, because that's what Ryan Clark does, but I really don't think it has anything to do with that. What I think it has to do with is the fact that guys like Clark can't dissimulate between ability to play the position and athletic ability shown at the combine, period. Like, let me ask you a question. I don't know that anybody called Lamar Jackson a generational talent when he came out. In fact, Bill Polian said that he should be a tight end or a running back. Okay, fine. Wide receiver, maybe. That's what Braxton Miller did out of Ohio State. Okay, fine. But do you think he's a generational talent now after a couple of MVPs? Now, dummy in the 600 club seats is going to say, well, how'd you win a chip, man? Oh, shut up. It's a team sport. But I would argue because of the way guys play their position is when they become, quote, generational talent. Dan Orlovsky's description of Arch Manning as a generational talent is pure pandering to the Manning family. Orlovsky appears on the Manning cast, and everybody at ESPN is going to jump up and down, stand on their head, and shit snowballs to protect or appease old Arch and his daddy, Archie, the grandfather, and, you know, old shucks, Eli, and all. They got a pretty same thing with Deion Sanders. They don't want Deion firing back at him, particularly the white guys at ESPN. They're scared to death. Don't at me about it either. I don't think this. I know this. I'll just make this stuff up. So the idea of generational talent before a guy gets there is just stupid. I mean, what is a generation anyway? I mean, let's think about this. A generation. So, wait. I thought Luck was a generational talent. Now, Luck is a quitter. Luck quit very simple. Luck quit very easy. Luck quit on his team. But having said that, he was the last generational talent. All right. I mean, okay. I mean, they're related to the characteristics of all the people born and living at about the same time regarding collectively. That's generational. So would you rather have Arch Manning's skill set or Jaden Daniels' skill set? I don't hear anybody talking about Jaden Daniels as a generational talent. I know who I'd take, and it wouldn't even be close. Like, they're about the same age. I'd take Jaden Daniels today, tomorrow, the next day. I mean, what are you talking about? You know, if he was going to include in generational talents guys that were picked a little bit low, let me ask you a question. Why did he put Patrick Mahomes in there? I mean, it wasn't like Patrick Mahomes got what? Picked behind Mitch Trubisky? Deshaun Watson? What, about 14th? That's not generational talent. See, this is a stupid argument on a stupid network by stupid people. And I tell you what, it makes my pee burn. Oh, wait, that was the surgery that I just had. Yeah, I didn't know. All right. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid, and getting you paid, I like it. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks, very simple. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 200 times your money. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. It is. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money on Prize Picks. All you got to do is download the Prize Picks app right now. Do it right now. Use code DAKICH. That's me, Dakich. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Dakich, DAKICH, to get 50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. By the way, I'll give you my picks in the next segment. I do. And I only have one of the guys on my fantasy team. I don't have the other. The other's a Colts quarterback, which is going to make you crazy, but I'll explain why. All right, RG3 has come out accusing the media of rushing to tear Arch Manning down. A lot of Arch Manning discussion today, and I'm here for it, after his abysmal debut versus Ohio State. All right, now, before we get into this, understand this. Every single human being in the media that is a former player or a former coach or a former actor or a former celebrity understands this very simple. The same media that props you up can't wait to tear you down. Now, we've discussed this, have we not? The guy who lit up the WNBA on fire when he claimed that he received word from family members that Angel Reese was indeed hates Caitlin Clark is now accusing others of trying to tear somebody down. You can't make this stuff up. Here is RG3 talking about old Arch.
For me, with Arch Manning, this is just the epitome of the media building him up just to tear him back down. And there's a lot of people jumping ship on him. But I do think you're allowed to say that he struggled. He did. He missed throws. Mechanically, he looked like something was bothering him. I don't know if maybe his shoulder was hurting or something, but he wasn't following through on a lot of his throws. And they were going at guys' ankles, really throughout the entirety of the game. So I think for Arch, listen, that Manning name on the back of your jersey is going to add extra scrutiny to everything that he does. But I don't think that he now just doesn't know how to play football at all. I think he had a bad game. I think we're all allowed to have a bad day. And how he responds moving forward throughout the rest of the season will really determine all of his hopes and dreams, being the number one pick, being a Heisman Trophy winner or a trophy candidate in general, will all be determined by how he plays the rest of the year. But I think people piling on him now are really just trying to take shots at the Mannings that they feel like they've never had a true chance to do. And I don't think that's right.
Well, I disagree with that last part. I mean, Peyton Manning caught a lot of hell in a lot of different places, and now he has become an icon. All right, let's get this straight. First off, we can only react to how you play. It's all you can do. And most people, not all, but some, not most, react with an unbiased eye. I have an unbiased eye. I don't care about the Manning. Hell, I'm wearing a Colts jersey right now. I care less. Whether Archie Manning, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, old Cooper Manning, any of the Mannings, the mommy Manning, any of them come at me. Don't care even a little bit. But all you can do is react to how a guy plays. Now, people saying the media propping him up, that's bullshit. The Mannings have done a good job of tempering the expectations, but that doesn't stop them from taking $6 million some in NIL money, making all kind of commercials, which, by the way, you haven't seen a lot of since the debacle in Ohio State. No, the Mannings participated in this. It's like that complete clown douchebag Dan Wolken tried to say that it's not Arch Manning's fault that he's overhyped. Sure it is. When you take that kind of money, when you're in every commercial, that's on you, nobody else. Nobody puts a gun to your head and says, take this money. Nobody puts a gun to your head and say, do these commercials. Nobody does that. You participate in it. And as we all know, the more popular you get, the more people are scrutinizing you. Hey, turn it around the other way. What if Arch Manning had played really, really well? The hype would have been uncontrollable. He would have been the betting favorite by a mile to be the Heisman Trophy candidate. I don't think the rest of the season determines it for Arch Manning. I really don't. There are only certain games that the entire world is paying attention to. You may play Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, and people will pay attention. But unless Oklahoma beats Michigan this weekend, no one's really going to care. They didn't care last year. Oklahoma stunk. And Oklahoma hadn't been very good with Brett Venables, not at all. So nobody's really going to care. The most watched college football game in a long, long time was played on Saturday, and it was at noon, and it was on Fox. And Arch Manning was god-awful. So, yeah, maybe he can get back in all those individual races. Certainly the team accolades, the team championships are there for him. Didn't hurt him in the SEC. Didn't help him in the college football playoffs. A little finer line now, a little less margin for error for Texas. But I disagree totally. You know what you sign up for. You do. I think what most people see with Arch Manning is, okay, now I get it. Now I get why he did not beat out a 7th-round pick in Quinn Ewers. Not that Arch Manning's bad, but Arch Manning is evaluated on one thing and one thing only, his play. I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Isn't that what we're all paid to do? We watch you play, and we say, okay, all right, this is what we saw. So tomorrow he's going to play against San Jose State. And he's going to throw for 300-some yards, probably run for 100, and all the Manning ass kickers are going to be back in business. Then he's going to play against UTEP. Then he's going to play against South Houston State and probably play well. And then everybody's going to be back on the bandwagon, and then it's going to be a hell of a deal in Florida, DJ Langway against Arch Manning, and he'll have a chance to redeem himself, and then the Red River rivalry comes. So I'll talk about Arch Manning should cease. It should cease until, what's the date on that? October 4th. October 4th, reignite the bus. Yeah, UTEP, you're going to handle. San Jose State, you're going to handle. Sam Houston, you're going to handle, and you're going to look great. And all the little media guys are going to be back on board, guaranteed. October 4th, we'll revisit Arch Manning. Unless, of course, something crazy happens before. I don't understand this. I don't understand how you haven't already subscribed. We're trying to get to $2,000 by the end of the day. We're going to get to $100,000 here pretty soon. But like, comment, and subscribe at our new YouTube page. It is YouTube right there, youtube.com @Don't@Me with Dan Dakich. It's very simple. I mean, there is nothing difficult about this. And if you're making it difficult, come here and I'm going to smack the crap out of you. Yeah, no. Come on. Come here. If you're making it hard, and if you don't do it right now, I might smack the crap out of you. No, I'll find you. I will. I'll find you. All right. Troy Aikman, the prized possession of Jerry Jones, his first prized possession, won him a couple Super Bowls, is now sounding the alarm bells on Jerry Jones and the sad reality facing the Cowboys. Now, before I get into this story, let's understand one thing. This was before last night's game. Let me ask you a question. It doesn't change when you lose. What I'm about to read to you will not change. But had they beaten the Eagles, and it's amazing how 5 points can change an entire narrative on things, and I'm not mad about it. Hell, nobody understands that more than me. That's sports. I remember sitting there kind of laughing to myself, up one late in the game, going, man, this next 10 seconds determines how I feel about myself until we play the next game. It did. It literally was like, huh. So, you lose now, we got to deal with you, right? So, here it is. I saw Jerry talk about the fact that having the Cowboys as a discussion point is meaningful to him. Watch where he goes here. And if people aren't talking about the Cowboys, then he'll do things to stir it up. So he kind of walked into that and given the impression that that supersedes winning. All right, let me ask you a question. Why? I mean, has anybody not noticed that Jerry Jones is a businessman? Has anybody not noticed that? I mean, am I the only one? Am I the only one that sees this? Am I the only one that says, interesting? He's a businessman. He's trying to get business done. He's trying to make money here. You know, you don't have to act like Troy Aikman or any of these coaches where I'm single focused on this. No. When you are running a multi-billion-dollar business, which is exactly what Jerry Jones does, you got to wear many hats. And people are going to say, well, he should delegate. Why? He does delegate. I mean, all you got to do, I did this once. I don't know how many people there were, but there are a lot that work in the Dallas Cowboys organization. It's a massive employer. And Jerry Jones just happens to be the front window to it. But why can't Jerry Jones talk about, we want to be in discussions. We want people interested and run a football team. In some ways, I'm sure Jerry and the Joe's family and everyone is tired of the fact that they haven't been to a championship game. Boy, that is true. Let alone a Super Bowl in 30 years. So then when you deflect that, then essentially the valuation of your franchise or the attention and exposure of drama, or as Jerry said, the fact that the Cowboys are a soap opera 365 days a year, that then becomes a scoreboard instead of winning and losing on the field. That's total bullshit. That's total bullshit. No, Jerry Jones is in the business of doing business and in the business of making money. I guarantee you Jerry Jones and his staff, whether it's his son or whoever else he works with, wake up every day trying to make the Cowboys a winner. You can do both. I get a kick out of people that say, well, the president's worried about women in sports. He should be worried about the economy. It's a long day. A lot of hours in the day. And this is total bullshit. I would bet my life that everybody that's come into that organization, from Parcells to name a guy that's coached there, and there have been a lot, to Jerry Jones, have woken up every day trying to get the Cowboys into a Super Bowl. Cowboys learned that once the league evened itself out, ain't that easy to get in the Super Bowl. Cowboys were terrible. Terrible. Made a great trade. Herschel Walker brought in some good draft choices. But the truth of the matter is Jerry Jones has not been able to get them done from a general manager standpoint, but it's bullshit to think that he can't do both, promote his organization, talk about what it is, and it is a soap opera 365. All you got to do is turn on your favorite network, ESPN, and they talk about it every day. Middle of June, they're talking about it. Seth Greenberg, one of my best friends in broadcasting, said on the air, he goes, hey, look, we haven't had professional football in 90 days. This is after 2 seasons ago. And today on ESPN, Mike McCarthy was going to get fired, according to the guys on ESPN. Of course he's right. It is a damn soap opera. You can do both. I don't understand it. Do I think winning is not important to Jerry Jones? Not at all. I think Jerry Jones wants to win more than anything else, and I think he's exhausted of the fact that his team, although they've won a lot of regular season games, they've only won 4 playoff games. That's hard to stomach. Right, he should have led with that. And maybe he did, and this just got put in the rundown wrong. But damn, ex-players, myself included, think they were perfect. Seriously. I mean, I didn't play at that level, but I did play at a pretty good level right there. And, you look back like, oh, man, coach should have played me. Oh, man, we could have blah, 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 blah. All right, you won a Super Bowl, Troy Aikman, so you're allowed to talk. You sit at the big boy table when Dallas has their players' stuff. Great. But don't tell me you can't do both. That's bullshit. That's one of the things that drives me crazy, and I mentioned already Trump, but in every walk of life. Well, you should be concentrating on this instead. Oh, shut up. I mean, if you are somebody that knows how to organize, if you're somebody that knows how to be organized, you can get a lot of stuff done in a day if you really want to. Shut up with that. Man, Troy Aikman, I'll tell you what, he's giving me a headache. He's good to look at, though, Lee, but he gives you a headache. Guy acts like, what, if you're a coach, you can't decorate the house? President of the United States, you can't talk once in a while about something other than, well, he shouldn't be talking about women in sports. He should be talking about the economy. Oh, shut up. You can do both. Troy Aikman, Jerry Jones wants to win more than you want to eat. So just stop with that stupid stuff. There's always a backstory. I'm going to find out what it is. Caitlin Clark shutting it down on her teammates and on the league yesterday, and apparently that's big news. I'm not going to lie to you. I live here in Indy. I've said this. I forgot they're still playing. I did. I think she's played in 13 of whatever games this year. I think there's going to be 41, 42 games. She's played in 13. The Fever are in jeopardy through not only Clark's injury, Sophie Cunningham, basically everybody on the team is banged up. It's been a very disappointing season. But I'm telling you, there's a backstory. There's something going on here. You don't miss all this time with a groin injury. Now, look, guys may be different than girls. I don't know. Certainly in the groin area they are. But I don't know. Maybe that injury is bad. I told you before, a groin injury will stay with you. Maybe Caitlin Clark doesn't want to play with this team. Maybe Caitlin Clark is tired. I don't know, but there's a backstory. I guarantee you, when the next book comes out on Caitlin Clark, there will be a backstory on this because there's always a backstory. I hope to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with a singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I feel. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. What does that mean? Was everybody talk nice about me through all the uncertainty? What does that mean? This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I'm so proud of how the team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year. Now's the time to close out the season, claim our spot in the playoff. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Don't care. I should. I want to. Davey, Clark missed time this season with a left quadricep strain in May, briefly returned. Groin injury sidelined her again, 13 games. Davey, do we care?
Dan, I don't. I mean, it's one of those things to where I thought the most interesting part about this was the timing. It's like, why do you release this like right before the NFL season kicks off? But as it relates to, I don't care about the WNBA. I do know a lot of people that are going to be missing out on the headlines of no Caitlin Clark, and the league's got to be absolutely distraught.
Yeah, the league's got to be distraught. They got to get them in the playoffs. The team has been, in a free fall pretty much. And I don't necessarily say that I don't care being negative, but I don't care because there's a lot more, for me anyway, the Colts are playing, college football, Indiana's good, the Cubs are in the playoffs. I mean, I know my tone isn't the best. I know that. My wife tells me that all the time. I like what you're saying, but your tone sucks. Okay, well, at the end of the day, I'm glad they're playing, whatever. Hope they make the playoffs. But there's too much in sports going on for me to care. In fact, last night or 2 nights ago, I think the Fever were on. And I love watching late night at the U.S. Open tennis. I love watching it until I fall asleep. There's just a lot going on, Davey. I don't give a shit about the WNBA no more.
No, I'm with you.
I don't care.
The one thing with this was, it's just more of the drama. The WNBA, the storylines surrounding the league are much more entertaining than the games themselves. And with no Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese doing her thing, and as far as her team being terrible, that takes all the headlines out of it anyway. So no, like I'm with you. I have completely, well, I won't say I've shifted. My focus has always been on football. This even throughout the summer, ramping up into the season. But yeah, it's gotta suck for a lot of at least the Caitlin Clark fans that, hoping that Indy would be able to do something, but that is not the case.
Well, it sucks because a lot of people that have season tickets are from Iowa, and it's not an easy drive. I've driven from here to Iowa City numerous times doing college basketball games. It's not an easy drive, easier in the summer than it is in the winter, obviously. But, yeah, so you got a lot of people from out of town, a lot of people that want to see Caitlin Clark, bought tickets when they come to her city, bought jerseys, that kind of stuff. But that's sports, man. But I'm telling you, Davey, there's a backstory here. There's always I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. I don't know that it's bad. I don't know that it's good. I don't know. But in my world, what I learned long ago, there's always drama. There's always a backstory. We'll see. All right.
Gonna need Sophie Cunningham to shake her ass some more to help out with no Caitlin Clark storylines.
Did you see she's shaking her ass in a bikini wearing a knee brace or a knee boot? She's doing it now. She can't stop shaking her ass. Good for us.
I didn't see that one with the knee brace, Dan. I'll have to take a look during the break.
It's hard to focus on the knee brace. Just saying.
That checks out.
Even as all right, here we go. Pour one out for Streamfest. Listen to this. The world's largest illegal sports streaming service has been shut down after a year-long investigation resulting in the arrest of 2 individuals in, you didn't guess it, Egypt. You didn't guess Egypt. Stop it, stupid. You didn't guess Egypt. The Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, ACE, said it worked with Egyptian law enforcement officials to disrupt the service August 24th, per The Atlantic. ACE is an anti-piracy coalition comprised of multiple media organizations, including Amazon, Netflix, among other companies. I used to use an offshore thing. I can't remember what it was called, but before gambling became legal, we did. Is that illegal? Am I going to get busted for 10 years ago? I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to keep me up at night. Streameast. What did I call it? Streameast reportedly generated, listen to this, 1.6 billion visits over the past year per The Atlantic. Wow. Service offered illegal streams of Premier League and Championship League games, as well as NFL, MLB, and NBA contests. Wow. It provided printed access pirated access to pay-per-view events like certain MMA fights. Streameast reportedly drew 136 million average monthly visits. 2 men were arrested in Egypt as part of the operation. Authorities reportedly seized laptops, smartphones that allegedly helped operate the site. The raid also uncovered a shell company in which it believed 6.2 million in ad revenue was laundered. People got great ideas. If they would just put these ideas into positive things, a lot of problems in this world would be solved. 200,000 in cryptocurrency was uncovered. It's believed multiple real estate properties in Egypt were purchased with the illicit funds, per The Atlantic. Look at this. We got actual journalism going on. How about that? Streameast. All right. Ace scored a resounding victory in its fight to detect, deter, and dismantle criminal perpetrators at digital piracy by taking down the largest illegal live sporting platform anywhere. With this landmark action, we have put more points on the board for sports leagues, entertainment companies, and fans worldwide, and our global alliance will stay on the field as long as it takes to identify and target the biggest piracy rings across the globe. That's Charles Rivkin, the chairman. Hey, Davey, had any of you guys ever heard of this thing?
Oh, yeah, Dan. Oh, yeah. I will say this. I know a guy that whenever there would be blackouts in the area, they would go to Streameast to make sure they're able to watch the game that was blacked out. So,
really,
this thing was huge, Dan. Now, granted, you got to be careful. You'd probably put some virus on your phone or your TV if you're not paying attention. I remember seeing a couple, it might have been at like a Buffalo Wild Wings, where they got in big trouble because they were illegally streaming, I believe, a game. They didn't buy NFL Sunday Ticket. And whenever the site originally crashed, it showed up the Streameast on the main screen. And it's like, that's one of those things like you can get in a lot of trouble for, but I know a ton of people that were using this site, and it gets shut down right before football season. A lot of people are going to be scrambling.
Like, let me ask you a question. So you would use this as opposed to Red Zone or as opposed to – not you. I didn't mean you. But I'm sorry. Yeah, a guy I knew would use this for – this would be their supplement to, or this would be their ultimate, like, I got YouTube TV. Would this be their TV?
Yeah, because, I mean, you could get almost any game you wanted from NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, even the MMA stuff, because a lot of that would be pay-per-view behind the or like ESPN Plus type stuff. So they would find a way around that. They would stream it, and people would be able to go and watch it without having to pay anything. And, with a lot of the regional sports networks, Dan, when you're talking about Major League Baseball, a lot of that stuff you can't get unless you just subscribe to that individual team. But especially with the how much gambling has increased over the years and just the availability. People were wanting to watch more and more of these games, but not wanting to have to pay the exorbitant amount of prices to get the stream. So Streameast was like the leader in the clubhouse as far as being able to go and watch these games.
Man, I literally never heard of it. In fact, I was calling it Stream Fast. That's interesting to me. I remember when I couldn't. This is a couple years ago. I couldn't get a Cubs game, and I don't know why. Maybe it was more than a couple years ago. Maybe it was 5 years ago. I don't know. And a bunch of people told me, on X, then Twitter, how to go about it. And I went to one of these, and it kept coming in and out, so I never paid attention to any of the pirated deals. It used to be, and this is a little bit fascinating, old school, you used to be able to get a box, an illegal box, and you put it on your TV, and you could get all this, Cinemax, Showtime, HBO, all that. My dad had one, but you had to turn it off at night because they would drive down streets, these groups that were trying to find pirating, they would drive down streets and they had a electronic thing. If your thing was on, it would tell and you would have a problem. A friend of mine sent me one. I hooked it up for one day. When I was in Bloomington, I felt guilty and I got rid of it. I'm like, I feel guilty. This isn't right. I don't need to wake up at night with the DEA in my house banging down a door because I'm watching, Laverne and Shirley on pirated TV or something. I have a conscience that's way too guilty. All right, well, that's good to know. I did not know that. I did not know the scope with which, and thank you for that. All right, this is more my speed. It's a nudist rebellion. I get naked a lot around this house. I live in a house with a pool, and I don't like to be wet. So my fat ass swims naked. I'm a big nudist. Roselawn, Indiana was by my house. It was about 30 minutes south. It was Naked City. They had the Mr. and Mrs. Nude USA contest. I never went, but I always wanted to. Anyway, a community of nudists living on the resort grounds of Olive Dell Ranch in Colton, California are in an uproar after Resort's new owner, listen to this, implemented a policy change that forces residents to be clothed at all times while on the resort premises. Current and former residents are pissed. They're teaming up to file a lawsuit against the new owner, who they say are running their nude paradise into the ground. Well, just by definition, it's no longer a nude paradise if you got to wear clothes. By definition, nude means no clothes. And by the way, it ain't as pretty as you think. I went to a nude beach on my first honeymoon at St. Bart's, and it ain't all that, even though St. Bart's has the beautiful people. There are a lot of dudes and women that should put clothes on. A little mystery. Never heard anybody. The notice, well, here we go. The notice was just the beginning. Residents say the utility bills and rent were inflated. Threats of eviction and the removal of electronic meters from their homes followed. They illegally raised our rent. They attacked our lifestyle. That's right. Nudity isn't perverts. It's a lifestyle. Think being an athlete. Same thing. Being athletic and working out is a lifestyle. Being a drunk is a lifestyle. What's your lifestyle? You know what? I like a good beer buzz early in the morning, like Sheryl Crow sung. What the hell? But the truth of the matter is they're changing their lifestyle, and they ain't happy about it. We're just trying to survive. We're in survival mode. As with any story, of course, there are two sides. I said that with Caitlin Clark. There's always a backside. KTLA tried to reach the new owners and their attorney, but weren't able to do so. They did speak with property manager who accused residents of vandalism and failing to pay their bills. Uh-oh. What a sad state of affairs for a place that KTLA says was once known as the friendliest nudist resort in Southern California and has attracted nudists since 1952. That's a lot of naked. Well, they're fighting back, and we shall see what we shall see. Go get them. But put some clothes on, would ya? Hey, when we come back, I'm going to win you some money. No, it's what I do. I'm going to win you some money with my Prize Picks picks, and Davey and I are going to play a little on the hot seat. Jalen Carter, you dumbass. We'll get into him also when we come back. Joe Kinsey, bottom of the hour. And, of course, the lovely, the uber-talented Kelly in Vegas, top of the hour.
This fall,
you're not just watching the biggest game in college football.
you're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest a VIP treatment
This is your shot
to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
We're also hooking up 10 more fans with Outkick hats, and everyone who enters gets a discount to the Outkick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
Does anybody, is he going to have to stroke a check? Has anything like that happen as far as messing up anybody's houses in here?
He didn't. I did not hear any glass break. I did hear him say, please don't watch my shot. Don't look at that shot. But, he did well.
Landon, what did you think of the overall experience?
With all these live professionals and live golfers out here, their games didn't seem to impress me when I was caddying for Dan. He's easily the best golfer here at Chapman Hills. He's a great guy.
We're here with Dan's golf coach, Lee.
Yes.
How was today?
Up and down. I'm going to say up and down. I think first 9, Dan played really well. He did. And then got a little shaky towards the end there. Putting was way off. He's usually a better putter. Putting was way off. But you know what? Great day. A lot of good people. Had fun. And I have to say, as soon as I didn't have to be his caddy anymore, he may have started playing better.
I will say, the live experience, it seemed like every 3 or 4 holes there was a bar set up. Do you think once we kind of got to the bars, that played a pretty big impact as far as Dan's game?
It may have. I'm not gonna confirm that one way or the other.
We're here with the man of the hour, Dan Dakich. You just finished 18 holes. Dan, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I tell you what, it makes you feel like a big guy. You're inside the ropes. You're playing like a set-up championship course. I hit the ball good, couldn't putt, but what a great time. My wife was there. Landon was there. Great pros. I mean, what a great day. Thanks to everybody at Outkick for letting me do it, get me in this thing. Yeah, I don't know. The overestimation of I got tired. I'm not going to lie, Davey. I don't know, the bars and all that. I did take a shot. Actually, I took 2 shots because my back started hurting. You know, here's what happens when you get old. I told my wife, I go, man, I'm getting stiff as I walk. Like, I don't know. And I think when I went in the hot box, there was a bathroom that was in the sun, and I went in it, and I came out, and I was drenched with sweat. I'm like, oh, don't go in there, fellas. But thanks for coming out. That was a great day, and I got to lose my stomach. The stomach, it's got to go. Stomach has got to go. Too much stomach.
Nah, Dan, we had a great time. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and following around. You had some great interviews. We're going to have some more content coming out later. I know we got an interview we're about to play, but it was a good time. Yeah, it's the way in which Lee answered that question I thought was great because I had to go away for a bit, so I didn't know if things got off the rails while Ryan and I were away while y'all were, I guess, playing. I think it was around holes 1 through 5.
Started out really well in the back, and I did shank 2. Like, I shanked 1 on the front, and and then on 8, I shanked 1 off the tee. But the beauty is we were playing a shambles, so you got to, play the best drive. But I think I needed to start drinking before the round. I think that was more important. I think, oh, man, I was telling Lee, I go, damn. And you should have seen, by the time we were done, You learn something new every day. You do. I mean, I should have been on that Streameast. What the hell? I mean, free? I'm paying, I don't know, in 10 years, I paid thousands and thousands of dollars to watch TV. That ain't no good. What the hell's wrong with me? I need to get out more. I do. I need to get out more. I'm going to get out more. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Here we go. Let's go to Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Dakich. DAKICH to get $50 in lineups after you play your $5 lineup. It's that simple. That's code DAKICH to get 50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Here's my picks. So far, I'm 1-1. All right. What do we care? Daniel Jones is going to throw the ball, and don't be nervous if it doesn't start out well. Guys play well in their first games. That's what I'm banking on here. I've seen this my entire life. One of the problems with, not only problem, Daniel Jones is that, he gets hurt a lot. But the truth of the matter is guys play well. Think about it. When guys come back from an injury or guys have their first start, they're pretty damn good. And this is Daniel Jones' first start in his redemption story. And that's what I'm banking on. None of us can tell at all, not even a little bit, what Daniel Jones is going to be. But I will say this. I pay attention to players' quotes. I pay attention to players' quotes when they aren't in their locker room talking to the media. I pay attention to what they say over here, over there. And Josh Downs, the wide receiver for the Colts, I think he's in his 3rd year now, does a podcast with his brother Caleb. Caleb is a $1 million cornerback at Ohio State after transferring from Bama. And Josh said on the air, look, we love the fact that Daniel Jones is our captain. We think Daniel Jones is doing, quote, everything right. Everything right. And look, a lot of guys would automatically side with Anthony Richardson, particularly the African-American young kids, because he's the guy, right? He's the guy that was drafted. You think he might be the future, get on his good side. But when Downs said that, It opened my eyes. So I expect Daniel Jones against a very piss-poor secondary of the Miami Dolphins to have a big game. I do. I expect him to have a big game. Now, this next one, so I'm taking more than. I'm taking more when it comes to Daniel Jones, more than 205 yards. This other one's a little dicey. But I took Bryce Brees, whatever his name is, Hall, on my fantasy team. And when I take you on my fantasy team, that is because I believe in you. Well, he's only 24 years old. Now, problem with Brees Hall, or whatever the hell his name is, well, he's got competition. Braylon Allen, the kid out of Wisconsin, is pretty damn good. But I think he's going to get the football. That's going to pay me 3 times my money. I'm really anxious to see how this goes. I am. Because I think this is fascinating. I think this is absolutely fascinating. I think it's one of those things where you're like, this is really going to be fun. I'm going to watch the Colts game, and I can't wait to see. I honestly can't. I cannot wait to see how this goes. I love playing Prize Picks because I get excited about every play I do. I'm sorry, I do. I get excited to see what my guy's doing, and when I turn on Red Zone, I got something to watch. I don't know. I like having something to watch. How many times have I talked to you all about I just want something to watch? And frankly, there it is. So do yourself a favor. Figure it out. But I'm taking Daniel Jones, and I don't want to hear about it. No, people are out of their minds. 97% of Colts fans said that they, ladies and gentlemen, are pessimistic about the Colts. 93%. 7%, according to whatever, said, no. We good. Really? All right. Are you? Are you really good? We'll see. But long story short, more than. What did I say? I said more than. God dang it, I got to pay attention. I'm betting more. I'm picking more. Delete. Edit. Let's go. I'm picking more. It says right here, I'm picking more. Download the app. Go to Dakich. Get $50 in lineups on a $5 play. More Daniel Jones, not less. More Bryce Brees, whatever the hell his name is, Hall. 24 years old. He's more. All right, Davey, save me, would you? On the hot seat with Dan Dakich. Let's go.
What do you think of that, Dan?
I like it. What do you got?
Dan, first up on the list, Jalen Carter last night, the NFL season off to a hot start. Before the first play, the guy spits on Dak Prescott.
Jalen Carter walked off the field like he didn't know what the hell he did. He kind of was laughing. Jalen Carter looked like a dumbass. Now, people said after I tweeted that last night, Dave, what do you mean he didn't look like he knew what he did? He didn't. He just looked too stupid and entitled and fat to know anything that he did. No, he is a moron. You get ejected, you're the best defensive player maybe in the league, certainly among the most disruptive players in the league, and you get ejected for spitting. I get it. You're playing hard. You get a helmet to helmet. They get mad at you, targeting. Okay, that's one thing. But you get ejected in the first play of the game. It is the dumbest thing that I have seen in football. I've seen a lot of dumb things in football. But never, ever, ever dumber than that. You cannot fix stupid. Kirby Smart will never fix stupid. This is a series. Remember I tell people all the time that it's always the same people? You know who was drag racing when those two guys, or the one girl and the one guy died at Georgia? You know they were drag racing against Jalen Dumbass Carter. It's the reason he fell to number 9, most disruptive player in the league. It's no surprise when stupid people do stupid things continually. And all you had to do was look at his dumbass face as he walked off the field, smiling, totally not understanding. Somebody said, well, why do you think he didn't understand? Because he's stupid. Hey, what do you want me to do? And he showed himself to be. Hey, Davey, is that the dumbest thing you've seen on a football field?
That's a good question, Dan. I mean, it's got to be up there simply based off the timing. When you look at the way in which this game was supposed to go, he's going to be the disruptor for the front of that Eagles defense. And Dallas was able to run the ball pretty well with him being out, and it's even before a single play in. We do have a comparison. Brooke, I think we got a photo. I wanted to get Dan's thoughts on this. What do you think of Jalen Carter here, Dan?
Oh, yeah, mother by another mother, whatever. A brother by another mother, whatever they say. That is absolutely. Yeah. Stacey Adams, man, I can't tell who looks like more of a woman.
Both down in Georgia.
He's got the thing on his chin, but that could be a woman according to Democrats these days. She's got the split in her teeth. That's a Dakich thing. I don't know. They do. Boy, that's good. That's really, really good. All right, we moving along. I don't know that he's on the hot seat, but right now, Bill Belichick catching a lot of hell. Hey, Davey, is this who's next, Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick is next, Dan, and it's not so much like I think he's anywhere close to being fired. What I wanted to get your thoughts on was, I don't know if you saw the report yesterday, but Bill Belichick has essentially banned New England Patriots scouts from attending North Carolina practices.
I love it. Hey, look, I love pettiness. Coach Knight banned from his universe any players that after he got fired at Indiana that went to an Indiana game, except for the black guys. The black guys could do that. Scott May, Isaiah, they could do whatever they wanted. But the white guys got banned. I love what Belichick is doing here. I think this is hilarious. Davey, can you be more petty?
No, you can't.
Like, you were there forever. You can't. That is the epitome of old school pettiness. No,
you're right, Dan. My question to you though is, if you are Bill Belichick and you're in college now, so you're trying to serve these players and help them get to the next level. I mean, you're looking for every recruiting advantage you can get, and obviously having the ability of like, hey, I can put you into the league. But now we're like, hey, we're going to completely shut out a team. I don't see how that serves his players and how every other coach
I don't either.
Can use that as a recruiting tactic against him.
I don't know what the relationship is between Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director, and Belichick. I don't know, if Bubba is subservient to Belichick. But in my world, this would be grounds for me to go into Belichick and say exactly what you said right there. Exactly. Like, hold on here. Now, I get it. You got beefs. But I'm sure at some point they talked about his past. And I'm sure at some point Belichick smoothed that over in the recruiting/interviewing process. I guarantee you, I've been through these processes. There's no way he said, yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm not going to let them come in. If I'm Bubba Cunningham, I am coming in to see Bell. I'm saying, whoa. We ain't doing this. No, we're going to win games. We're going to get players where they need to be. We're not doing this. You want to get mad? Get mad. Now, when Belichick wins a national championship, he could do whatever he wants. That's, but getting your ass beat in the opening game gives you absolutely no power. And if I'm Cunningham, the AD, we're going to have a talk. I don't care if you're Bill Belichick or Bill Nye Science Guy. Next.
Dan, the Alabama dynasty, the entire conversation this week, ever since they were dismantled by Florida State, has just been, where did things go wrong? How did the dynasty fall off? And, former quarterback A.J. McCarron for the Tide are saying, hey, Alabama's got a lot of NIL problems. It's like, listen, they might have had some problems, but it wasn't like Florida State had so much more from a recruiting standpoint. But the one thing I was really curious on your thought, Dan, have you ever heard of a player having an emotional support doll?
Davey, I saw this. All right, I have a story for everything, right?
I know you do, Dan. I'm waiting to hear it.
Davey, my first game as a head coach. Now, you got to understand, winning and losing is death to me. Like, I don't mean sorta, I mean depression and death. And so we're at St. Bonaventure, and St. Bonnie went to the Sweet 16 that year, and I knew they were good. But this is my first game. I'm playing walk-ons and freshmen. And I go to everybody's room in the hotel, and there's a player, Dubray Black, first kid I ever recruited. Dubray is under his covers in bed. Go, Dubes, how you doing? And I can tell there's something in bed with him. I can tell there's something there, Davey, and it's too small to be a girl, and it's too big to be a beer can. So I'm like, yo, Dubes, what you got there, man? Nothing, Coach. No, what do you got? I pull open. He's got a doll in bed with him. So my happiness, Davey, as a coach when I saw this, depends on a guy sleeping with a doll. Davey, true story. I put him in the game first half, and I'll never forget this kid's name. He was a really good player. His name was Rashad Palmer. He became a star in the NCAA tournament for St. Bonnie. As I said, they went to the Sweet 16. He runs over my man Dubray, like on a charge. Dubray is laying there on the other end of the court, and I wait a little bit, and I walk out there, and he's okay. I go, yo, Dubes. Yeah, Coach, he's kind of sitting. I go, you think that truck, Rashawn Palmer, that hit you, slept with a fucking doll last night? And I turned away and walked away.
Oh, man.
So, I saw, like, what are we doing? Like, so I guess my point is, this is not a new thing.
No, but this is that's Ryan Williams. I would not want to be him answering questions whenever he eventually gets to the NFL Combine from everybody about having a T-Rex stuffed animal to help him get through his tough times.
And Davey, to make it worse, he had a bad game. He's got his fingernails painted. I've seen, he was the superstar last year, the wide receiver, as an 18-year-old or 17-year-old freshman. No bueno. No, hey, when you play bad, no. I don't know that Kayla DeBoer is going to be able to fix these problems. I really don't. And I don't know this is considered a problem, but what I do know is they didn't play well. He didn't play well, and it's a tough look for a football player. Next!
Dan, speaking of a tough look, UCLA, they had an abysmal performance against Utah. Deshaun Foster, we've talked about him for a couple of years now. He had a really weird introductory press conference for Big Ten Media Days his first year. But after they got destroyed 43-10 to Utah, he said, I thought we were close.
Davey, I saw that. And to your point about the introductory press conference, he gave basically a Wikipedia on where UCLA is, and it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, Davey. Davey, I'm going to read from your text, and you tell me 13-0 lead, 23-7 at half, 30-10 at the end of the third, 43-10, 50 plays, for UCLA, 80 the other way, 492 yards for Utah, 220 yards. And, of course, everybody's favorite in Tennessee, Nico, played like complete ass. I don't know what this guy was looking at, but what is wrong with you to even, I get it. He's an appeaser. He's not really a coach. He's a cheerleader. But, damn, Ray Charles could see that game was over as soon as it started. I mean, Davey, what the hell?
It was rough, Dan. It was. I mean, hey, listen. I set up watched that entire game. I mean, it's like they say if you have an erection longer for 4 hours, Dan, you need to go to the doctor. That's what it was like watching that game as a Nico hater on that one.
Yeah. Once you said I sat up and watched that game, never in your life did you think you were going to sit up till 1, 2 in the morning watching UCLA, coached by that idiot, take on Utah. No chance were you ever going to do that, but you did because you hate Nico, and that's the beauty, like Belichick not letting the Patriots scouts come in. That's the beauty of pettiness in sports. It's not only fans, it's coaches, it's general man. It's glorious. The pettiness of sports is awesome. Are you kidding me? Love it. Love it. All right. Kelly in Vegas. Can't wait. Haven't talked to her in a while. I love Kelly in Vegas, a.k.a. Kelly Stewart. She's on next. This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football.
You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest the VIP treatment.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
So are we going to have YouTube TV and Fox and everything? Everything's going to be fine by game day, right?
Well, I'm not so sure about that. At least if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, the statement that Fox put out last night was scathing, to say the least. They accused YouTube TV of, taking advantage of their sort of, power and monopoly in the marketplace and not having any sort of serious discussion. So at this point, if I'm a YouTube TV subscriber and I want to watch Texas, Ohio State, my plan is to get up early and get a seat at the bar.
Well, that's a great plan. Actually.
Meanwhile, Chad, if you want to see Auburn and Baylor, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
Yeah, as a Fox employee, I've got the free subscription to Fox One, so I can watch Auburn and Baylor on there. That's kind of a humble brag on my part, but I will be seeing that even as a YouTube TV subscriber, which is amazing for me. Not so much for the college football fan out there. Amanda, when you cover these stories in sports business and coverage of leagues that get into these disputes with providers, is it the ultimate loser just the consumer of the sport or that product? We understand why these things happen with one gigantic company wanting more money out of another gigantic company. That part of it to me is kind of boring, but what the actual effect is to the fan.
You know her, you love her. She's the host of ESPN. What the hell? She's the host of Outkicks the Fade, Kelly in Vegas, a.k.a. Kelly Stewart. You know, all the great gamblers go by aliases. They have many, many names. You just don't walk around as Kelly Stewart. You got to be Kelly in Vegas. I get it. I do. Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good to you two. Talk about a Freudian slip. We all know that the real gamblers don't work at ESPN. Come on.
Right. I know. I don't know where that came from. That was kind of weird. Because usually I'm talking about, bad about ESPN. But, hey, it's the Fade. It's here. It's on Outkick. All right. The weather delay last night, I don't know. The undercast, I thought, you know what? We were going to have a high-scoring affair. We didn't see a punter for a while. That's one of the perils of gambling, isn't it? Good or bad, because some people won, some people lost. But, hey, it happens. What are you going to do?
Well, 171-1. the over has cash in those situations. So now 171-2. I saw that stat this morning from Evan Abrams, and I was shocked. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew it was a bad beat, right? 41 points in the first half. You've got the over. That's a bad beat. But the weather delay, man, I was tweeting. I was like, come on, guys. It's the East Coast. I'm old. I got to go to bed. I got to do Dakich in the morning. What are we doing here? Like, I'm sure the lightning has subsided. Can we just get this thing going? And then it was just such a quick into the third and fourth quarter because there was just no action. The clock was just burnt. Hey, perfect scenario for me. I had the Eagles in a survivor. I had Eagles in a teaser, and then I had the Cowboys plus the point. So I'm not complaining from that aspect. This morning, though, feel a little rough.
Well, I mean, you're not a gal that's used to being up late. You're usually reading the Christians. You're usually in the Christian Science reading room, reading the Monitor at about 6, a nice Starbucks at 8, a little latte, a little chamomile, and then you're in bed. I mean, that's that's how you built your reputation. So, hey, look, I mean, they keep you up past midnight. It's a bitch. All right, let me give you the bet of the year. You ready?
Yeah, I'm
and then
here for it.
I don't know. This is off script. Colts over 7.5 is plus money. They win 8 with a bad defense in Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson. They win 9 with a freaking Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson and a bad defense. They got a good defense. I don't care if Daniel Jones sucked in New York. Colts are going to win 8. Take the Colts over 7.5. I bet them for way too much money. I'm going to have to start door dashing again. Do you have any win total that you really like in the NFL?
I'm trying to look at your Colts because there's a reason why I kind of spaced out on them. Listen, I like Shane Steichen a lot. I really, really do. And I had faith in Anthony Richardson. I said that I thought he would be what the Colts needed. Hey, we're going to see what Danny Dimes is capable of here. I'll say this much. Colts had some nice upgrades in their secondary. That was good. But I'm going to have to see something with Daniel Jones that I didn't see in New York. And that is what concerns me here. Richardson was awful last season. 47% of his passes. That was last in the league. 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Woof. Is Daniel Jones going to be an upgrade from that? I'd certainly like to think so. I'm excited for your running back room. K-State, DJ Giddens is going to be behind JT. So we'll see if they can't get the ball, at least in the end zone from that perspective. But, oh, boy, we'll see if that offensive line, they're going to need some help. And I could see where maybe this is a feeling like a buy low situation for you guys. Granted, last year the offensive line was really banged up. So in fairness, we're going to hope that they regress positively here. But as far as season win totals on my end, I didn't play a lot in the NFL. I am kind of different in some of these futures bets. I don't like to lock up my money for an entire season. I mean, we're talking 18 weeks before you can even cash a ticket. There are a couple, though, that I thought, hey, let's everybody pump the brakes. This team's getting a little too much love. Super Bowl losers, Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, I took the plus money on the under 11.5 wins. I think we do see some regression. Almost every single wide receiver that the Chiefs had last year, gone. Yes, we have Worthy left. Rashee Rice, suspended 6 games. We're going to see what happens there. Travis Kelce's all but getting married. Chiefs defense going to have to step up and win them some games. Patrick Mahomes is going to need a little bit more time. He's getting up there in age, right? We'll see if that doesn't affect him just a little bit. And then also, I think a couple other teams that are getting a little too much hype, and we'll see how they start to come back down to earth. The Green Bay Packers. Okay, the NFC North is still the toughest division in football, Dan. Did we all forget that? And now we're asking Matt LaFleur to win that division. I'm sorry. One of the biggest things that I do or do not like is head coaches. I either can trust you or I can't. Matt LaFleur has not proven to me in any realm of the possibility that this team is going to take a positive step forward. Jordan Love just had thumb surgery. Everything I'm hearing out of Green Bay, good to go. Michael Parsons, everybody loses their mind. Like all of a sudden, you have a sniper in the backfield say, okay, I'm going after the quarterback. That's great. But you still have to learn a new system. You still have to get acclimated. He just joined the team last week. Everybody calm down. This is still the Detroit Lions division to win. I will, however, say that I do like Kevin O'Connell. I do like the Vikings. I think that that is a plug-and-play offense. J.J. McCarthy, obviously not a rookie quarterback, but did get hurt in his rookie season. Sam Darnold was able to win 11 games with that team. I like the Vikings as my sleeper pick, if you will, to win the NFC North. I think they're going to battle it out with the Lions, but everybody's got to take a step back here on the Green Bay Packers, at least until we see otherwise.
You know, when I was in college, I used to just automatically agree with pretty women, but I'm listening to you, and I agree with what you said. I do. I literally went through this yesterday on my show in Indianapolis, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't buying all the hype on the Packers. I'm not buying the demise because Sam Darnold's not there with the Vikings. But the one team you didn't mention, and I'm from the area, I'm from Chicago, I don't know what to make of the Bears because most of the news out of Chicago about the Bears has not been great. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, listen, I would agree with you. It hasn't been great. This is a Bears team that I have cashed an underseason win total since 2013, all but one time. Yeah, all but one time. I was talking about this last night at dinner with some of the people that I know from Chicago, and they said, well, Ben Johnson. Okay, I'm excited to see what Ben Johnson can do. I'm just not sure this quick turnaround is going to be as fast as everybody expects. Yes, he's an upgrade. Yes, we know that he is going to do what we've seen from him in Detroit, but it does still have to correlate on the field. Is Caleb Williams the answer? We're going to find out. See, this is where the kind of rubber meets the road, I think, for a lot of these quarterbacks is their sophomore year. That's not me splitting the atom here saying that we know that defensive coordinators get more tape. They figure out how to do it. Look, right behind me, I'm a Broncos fan. Do you think that Bo Nix in his sophomore year isn't absolutely terrifying to me? Of course it is. But I trust Sean Payton. I do trust Ben Johnson. But asking this team to win 9 games in one of the toughest divisions in football, look, I'm excited for Monday night. I know a lot of people that like the Bears early on. Hey, let's see what they're made of. Caleb Williams, you got to be a leader in that locker room. If you want your receivers to trust you, you got to be buddies with your old linemen so they make sure you don't get creamed every single play. I'm not sure that he has the leadership capabilities. I said that back when he was at USC. I didn't understand why the Bears love drafting these guys first overall picks to turn out to be busts repeatedly.
Yeah, and you know, to your point, what you said about the Packers, about the division, you mentioned it with the Bears, it's still very much in play. And that what do they say at the poker table? If you're looking around and you're trying to find the mark and you don't see one, then you're the mark. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, you might be the mark, Chicago. You might be the, you know, the homecoming team. I don't know. Just saying. All right. Kentucky getting 8.5 at Mississippi.
Hey.
Ole Miss. What are your thoughts?
Listen, Ole Miss is actually coming to Lexington for this one, and everybody wants to talk about Dakich, how revenge. Everybody wants to talk about revenge, and I don't understand it ever. Yes, the idea of revenge sounds like a great concept, but there's no way to quantify it. You have Lane Kiffin 1-4 straight up, 0-5 against the spread in SEC openers since he's been at Ole Miss. I'm sorry. I don't trust Lane Kiffin here to go in and tell his team we got to get revenge on this team from getting beat last year in Knoxville. It's a great narrative, but I like Mark Stoops. I like this defense. They're going to have to slow down the game. They're going to have to capitalize on turnovers if they want to win it. I took plus 10, 8.5, slightly different number, obviously, but I do think there's still some value. I think the Wildcats keep it within a touchdown.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I always go back when I was coaching. Revenge. Until the ball's tipped up. It's like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I'm so with you on revenge. It sounds good. Like, oh, boy, yeah, revenge, yay, rah. Players don't know where they shit last, much less what revenge they're supposed to be playing for. You know, I mean, seriously, they don't. They're like, revenge. You know what I mean, Kelly? You're so right about that. You are so right. The hated Jayhawks, who my buddy Todd Blinko says they are going to shock the universe, win the Big 12, and get into the college football playoff. We're getting 6.5 at Drinkowitz. What do you got?
Oh, Dan, I'll lose a lot of money if they win the Big 12 and get into the college football playoff. I have a side bet against a KU friend of mine that says K-State will get in the college football playoff before KU. But I will say this. I do like the Jayhawks here in this spot. You mentioned revenge and hated rivalries and all these things. You can't quantify it, but let me tell you, growing up in Kansas, there is an absolute hatred and has been for a couple of 100 years. Mizzou, Kansas, Kansas State, Mizzou, all the way across the board. It's just like a trifecta of hate. And I think that's why these types of games are going to be so good. It's kind of like the backyard brawl. Getting rid of that Pitt-West Virginia rivalry when the conferences broke up was awful. I'm glad they renewed this rivalry. I think it's going to be a great game. Penn State transfer, he looked really good last week against Central Arkansas, but I think that's something we got to pump the brakes on, right? Kansas has a much better defense, and I think that we are going to see him regress. Look, Jalen Daniels didn't even barely play in the second half of that game against Wagner. They have rested legs. This team is going to be ready to go. I think 6.5 in a rivalry game of this magnitude is too many points. Shock the world, Jayhawks. I got to see you. I would love to see you win this game in Columbia. I know that sounds crazy coming from a K-State fan, but I did bet KU to actually win this game outright.
Here is Sophie Cunningham on her podcast. There you go. There you go. I don't know if you can hear that, but they sing Mr. Brightside, and in the middle of it, apparently they dropped the F-bomb at Missouri. She's a Missouri girl.
Oh, it's
FKU.
Yeah. Oh, who doesn't love it? Listen, I know K-State's basketball coach said, hey, this is a family environment. We shouldn't do it. And I'm sorry. We're not allowed to do it if we beat KU at home in basketball. So we gave it up for a little bit. You will hear that song at least probably 3 or 4 times on Saturday. Whoever is manning the camera is going to have to be real careful about airing that out live on air.
That's right. That's right. Hey, when that plays, let's go to the cheerleaders, or let's go to the sideline, or let's go to the booth to, Travis Kelce's fiance. Let's do that. Stay away. UConn, man, the Fighting Jim Moras, they brought it back a little bit. Syracuse, now, my wife is a Syracuse. You've met her. She loves Syracuse. But she even said, our coach talks too damn much. Our football coach talks too damn much. You like UConn in this spot, huh?
Yeah, he does talk too much. And I like Fran Brown. I did. What he did in his first year at Syracuse with Kyle McCord was great. But I think we have to kind of take a step back here and say, all right, did they maybe overachieve their last season? Of course they did. I bet against them last week. I took Clay's Tennessee Volunteers, and he actually might have been the only game he agreed with me on. But it was like 17-0 there at the end of the first quarter. And the Orange tried to come back, but their defense was just too overmatched. On the other side, you got the Huskies team that you mentioned has been significantly better. And I keep hearing people vying for them to join the Big 12, even so, now that they have a football program. But they have fresh legs playing Central Connecticut. They returned 11 starters. And I think the special teams is a huge edge. Cam Edwards, great running back. I think he could have a breakaway TD there in the Carrier Dome that could keep this one within the 6.5. Syracuse teams tend to do this. You mentioned coaching. They lose games twice. That Tennessee game, a lot of people were in Syracuse's ear saying, hey, you guys can win this football game. And I think it was a little demoralizing. We'll see if Fran Brown can't get them revitalized. But you really going to tell me this team's going to get up big for UConn? I don't think so.
I think this is a big game for Fran Brown. I do. I think these are the kind of games that at home, and I felt this as a coach in my second year, these are the kind of games at home you got to win. I mean, they just are. Rivalry game, to the degree that it is. Speaking of rivalry games, Iowa getting 3.5. I don't know, man. I like Rocco Beck's dad. He comes on our show a lot, Anthony, the coach. I like him. You don't like him. You like the Jayhawks getting 3.5.
Yeah, I like the Hawkeyes here getting 3.5 in Ames.
Hawkeyes, yeah.
Listen, Kirk Ferentz can be very frustrating if you're laying points with him. Full disclosure, I've been very frustrated historically with Iowa if I have to lay points with this team. Catching points, he's a terrific underdog. They've won and covered their last 6 in Ames. This is an Iowa State team I saw in Ireland just a few short weeks ago end up beating my Kansas State Wildcats there in the second half after a snooze fest of the first couple of quarters there. And hey, I agree with you. I like Rocco Becht, but I think they're getting a little too much love here in this line. The real reality is they had an opportunity to lay an egg last week versus South Dakota. Nope, they came out punching. I thought, hey, this is a great middle ground. Beat K-State. They've got Iowa on deck. They didn't miss a beat. Matt Campbell had this team ready. I think the bookmakers are giving them a lot of love here in this line. I made the game 1, so getting 3.5 here with the Hawkeyes on the road. Again, Kirk Ferentz has been a great underdog for me. And 6-1, the underdog is in this rivalry. Remember last year, Iowa State went in to Iowa City, got the outright win. We'll see. 26-19-1 is the underdog here. Kirk Ferentz, as I mentioned, he has been pretty good for me over the last couple of years, and I think we got to give him the coaching edge over Matt Campbell.
Kelly, I think Kirk Ferentz tries to get the lead and then bore the other team to death.
I'm going to steal that. I mean? I'm going to steal that. One of my good friends from high school is good friends with his son, Brian. I'm going to text her that right now. As soon as we get done, I'm going to say, Caitlin, tell Brian that his dad tries to bore teams to death on the second.
Hey, if we can get the lead, we can just bore you to death. You'll fall asleep. You won't even run an offense. You'll be, like, God dang. All right, Florida. Are we buying DJ Langway? I watched that SEC special a little bit on him. I like him. Are we buying? Are the Gators back?
Gators are back. You mentioned season win totals. I bet them over 7.5 wins, and everybody says, oh, my God, their schedule's so hard. And I said, of course it is. Yeah. That's why they're slated at 7.5 wins and not 9. I think this is a 9 or 10 win team. I think what we saw from Florida last week doesn't matter because they played Long Island University, right? They rested most of their starters in the second half. You know what? USF shocked the world. I was so shocked. I took 6.5 with USF. I didn't bet a single dollar on the money line. I didn't know what we were going to see from Boise State, and they just blew the doors off Boise State in prime time. Everybody saw it. I think this is the dog with fleas this week. The whole world wants to back the Bulls plus 18. I think Florida comes out, shows everybody what they're made of, especially there in Gainesville. I went to this game 3 years ago with my dad. Florida was laying 23.5. And I said, oh my God, I'm going to take USF. And I'm sitting there, 50-yard line, stadium half empty. Nobody cares, cheering for USF. And this guy's looking at me like, who are you? How'd you know they're going to win this football game? I go, well, I don't think they're going to win. They sure as enough almost did. Don't think that wasn't Billy Napier's first year and he doesn't remember that. They're going to keep their foot on the gas and they're going to absolutely roll the Bulls.
I think they need to. I think in this day and age, you've got to beat the crap out of people, don't you? I mean, like Indiana dropped 3 spots, beating Old Dominion by only 14. And, I thought they should have kicked the field goal to at least make it 17 at the end just to make it, it would have covered the spread that I got, 15.5. But go ahead.
Cover the spread. But these final scores matter. They're going to come into play, especially when you don't play in the SEC. Right. So if you're in the ACC, you're in the Big 12, or you're in the Big 10, every point is going to matter to you because you're going to have to prove to the committee why you should have got in. And K-State, for example, whether they go and run the table, is still going to have to answer at the end of the day of how come you only beat North Dakota, an FCS school, by 3? You're going to have to answer to that because you're not an SEC school.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. If I would have no qualms, and I would absolutely tell. I did this when I was coaching in the MAC. I told the other coaches, look, if you beat my ass and you want to beat my ass by 50, I'm not going to bitch because you got your own team. But don't bitch at me when I do the same thing because we're all trying to get in the NCAA tournament from the MAC. So I don't want to hear about it. I don't, nothing. Kick my ass or I'll kick yours.
This isn't a participation trophy. This is you. Right. You play 4 quarters. Yeah, okay, everybody can talk about running it up or whatever. Bill Snyder, when I was a kid, used to run it up 67-0 against Northern Illinois. Just run it down the throat. Maybe was with the third-string quarterback by the end of the game, but it didn't matter. You got reps for your backup guys, and if you couldn't stop a nosebleed, you couldn't stop a nosebleed. There was no mercy rule.
That's right. Hey, and if you don't understand it in this modern era after last year, you're crazy. NFL, are you big on the Giants? You liking the Giants? What's going on here?
Oh, boy. We mentioned those sophomore quarterbacks, right? So we're going to see what Jalen Daniels is made of. That is another team that could possibly take a step back. We saw Dallas last night maybe take a step forward. Obviously, Philadelphia is already in the mix there for the Super Bowl. Everybody can't wait to give them a back-to-back Super Bowl win. Ready for this? Washington as a home favorite in the NFC East, 2-10 against the spread, 3-9 outright. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. We talked about Danny Dimes. I know he's going to be your new quarterback here, and I'm not so sure that I necessarily trust the Giants overall. I was really high on Brian Dable there for a couple of years. I think he's taken a little bit of steps back. I'm not sold that this Giants team is going to take a big step forward, but early in the season, with a Commanders team that set a record on fourth down conversions last year, they faced 5 backup quarterbacks. I think that Commanders team was just a little overblown. Remember, they played 13 one-score games and won 9 of them outright. That is a regression that I think takes a step back. I know you guys wanted me to make a case for the Giants, but I'm making a case for Washington being just a little overvalued.
I'm with you on that. I like Jaden Daniels, but what didn't the Giants, was that the Bears' demise when the Bears guy was jackassing around and the Commanders won on some
my gosh
punt return something? Was that was one of the wins last year for the Commanders?
Well, it was like a Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just over there kind of dancing around, celebrating the win, and then he got smoked.
And the coach got fired, and the rest is history. Brown, what? The Brown, my boy, by the way, congratulations to our friend Junior Jr. We call him Junior Jr. Teddy Karras, the center of the Bengals, just signed a contract. His dad and I have been friends 100 years. Junior Jr. did this. Would you trust him, a big old lineman in the NFL, came to my golf outing. He's drinking beers all day, Kelly. Comes to my house after, a bunch of guys, their wives, whatever. We're all in the pool. Junior Jr. is in my pool, must have drank 100 beers, never got out to take a pee. So I said, yo, hold on. Junior, where are you peeing? He goes, Coach, I swear to God, I haven't peed once. I said, all right, I'll trust you, but I don't think I'm buying it. He was in that pool for 3 hours, sitting there, slugging beer. Kelly never got out. Never got out.
He must have been really dehydrated. Sorry. Maybe he didn't drink any water either, but I don't buy it. I don't know.
I told my wife, I wish we had that spray stuff that shows up around. You know what I mean?
No. I can't. Now I got the bad view. Look, I don't think Joe Flacco is a guy that pees in the pool. And Joe Flacco and I are the same age, so I'm sure that he's feeling a little rough this morning as well. But I do think that he should be the starter for this Browns team. And the Browns have kind of been a thorn in the Bengals' side historically. Yeah, they lost a couple of the last 3. But remember, those were late season games. I expect early on in the year Cleveland to be better than advertised. We mentioned teams that I wasn't high on. The world is way too low on this Browns team. Lots of offseason drama with Shadur Sanders and all of that jazz. But Flacco should have been the starter all along. I would not be shocked to see the Bengals lose another opening game. Joe Burrow has won 1 season opener in his career. This is his 6th year. He is 1-4 straight up in his career in season openers. Brown's getting a little too many points here, 5.5, 5. I think is one of those very fishy numbers in the NFL. Could the Bengals win on a last-minute field goal? Sure. But I don't know. I don't know if I trust Joe Burrow. Watching him on the quarterback show, he's a little more concerned about fashion as opposed to playing quarterback.
I'm with you.
I don't get it.
You win Super Bowls, I don't care what you do. But all this nonsense, I care what you do. What are we doing? All right, last one. Broncos, Titans. You are not on the Titans bandwagon. You are like most in Tennessee, most that think this is a shit show.
It is, but it always is when you have a second-year head coach and a rookie quarterback and everybody's expecting a lot of things. I mentioned Bo Nix in his sophomore season. I do think Peyton has proved enough to be a solid enough head coach that they can get over that hump. Maybe the Broncos are getting a little too much love in their season win total, maybe getting a little too much love to win the AFC West. But rookie quarterbacks are not good on the road in their debut. Last year, I took the Bucks opening weekend against Jaden Daniels. And guess what? I'm taking it against Cam Ward. And Cam Ward is going to be good for the Titans. I really, truly believe this, but not against a solid defense in the Broncos week 1. I understand people think, all right, Kelly, you can argue that the Browns aren't going to be as bad as advertised. You can argue the Giants aren't going to be as bad as advertised. Tennessee cannot be as bad as they were last year. They covered only 2 games. They're going to cover 4. They're going to cover 6 games. They may even cover 8 games this year. But this is a home favorite. In the prior season, they covered 60% of the games. That is the Denver Broncos. Week 1, last 13 years. Yeah, this is a underdog that is going to get absolutely worked. Unless, of course, Bo Nix throws 2 interceptions. The defense just kind of walks through things and allows the Titans to score backdoor cover type of situation. Otherwise, I think Denver wins this game. Let's call it 24-10.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm betting. I'm just telling you, I'm betting every one of your picks. And I'm going to see what happens. I'm betting every one. I wrote them down on my little sheet here. I'm like, look, I'm just going to bet them because really I got nothing to do on Sunday, and I want to bet everything I possibly can. And you know what? Then I got to go DoorDash and make the money back or not or whatever. So there you go. Kelly, you're awesome. Thank you for coming on. Much appreciated. Fantastic
Thanks,
stuff.
Dan.
Thank you. There she goes, Kelly Stewart, Kelly in Vegas, and a bunch of other alibis. She got all kind of names. You cannot be gambling gal or guy and not have alibis. You can't. I mean, my guy, Artie Nuzzo, had 16 of them back in the day. Didn't stop the cops from coming to his door. I don't think they did, maybe. I don't know. Hey, when we come back, our guy, Joe Kinsey, Screencaps, we talk about it all the time, right? Good eats. We'll have some bets, fast cars, hot women. We'll be right back.
It's Hot Mike with Hunter Withrow at SEC Media Days here in Atlanta. Diego Pavia is our guest, and we're making Chad feel great because we're standing on this elevated platform.
That's right.
Do you feel, you feel like you're 6 feet tall now?
Maybe 6'1", Plus the shoes, maybe 6'2".
I think 6'2".
Okay, we're getting there.
Hair, 6'2".
We're getting there.
You are definitely best dressed here. Show the liner inside your jacket. I can see what you've got here. This is legit, man. Go ahead and shout out where you got this.
Gary Veach, man, our equipment manager, hooked me up. Really, he hooked up the whole team. And so we got our engraved names right there. The whole team has them.
The whole team has this jacket?
Yeah, the whole team has this jacket.
Legit.
Yep, different colors, though.
You could say you gifted your offensive line this if you wanted to.
Yeah, but I'm not a liar. No, just kidding.
What's it like suing the NCAA?
I really don't know how to answer that. I mean, it worked out in my favor. I'm super blessed for it, for sure.
We'll never do that. Right. So you're in a world of change, and you win. You're back because you won. I mean, you get to live out your dream another year, right?
Yeah, that is true. Well, I want to finish something that I started, and I want to win a national championship at Vanderbilt.
It does feel like you're sort of the poster boy of what the transfer portal can do for someone, right? With extra eligibility, you had the JUCO years also, but you're an overnight sensation at Vanderbilt. You were a great player at New Mexico State also, but how cool is that now that you get to extend that journey, being the guy that everybody looks to and says, oh, that's why the transfer portal is there?
Well, I feel like the transition from Conference USA to SEC, it was important because I really wanted to know where my game was at, and I felt like I was really good at, in the Conference USA, and obviously it transitioned pretty well, but there's a little bit left on the table that I want to go get.
Hey, we are back, and it's Joe Kinsey on Screencaps. It is taking the nation by storm. You see it every morning and every evening, and Joe is the hardest working man at Outkick. Joe, Senior Director of Content. You see the stinger right there. Joe, let's just get right into it. Kelsey Faris, I think is her name. I could be wrong. What are we doing here, Joe? playing golf in the mountains.
Yeah, Kelsey Farice. You know what? I'm glad they brought her up because she is doing something besides golf. She is doing something like SEC shorts where she is an SEC mom, SEC wife. So I'm really interested in Kelsey Farice this year, Dan, because she is down in the SEC and she's doing SEC comedy. So I'm thinking maybe we need to get her on the show on a Friday, let her do some football stuff. I think she would fit in great. So Kelly Farice, let's get her on, Dan. I think she would fit right in with us.
I do too, Joe. I think we need to do that. I think we absolutely need to do that. We're about due for a star on the show besides you and me. I think we are,
Thank
Joe.
you.
I do.
I'll call Kelsey.
You have all the numbers. You're the Hugh Hefner, aren't you? You're just that guy. You got animals out there at the compound, at the mansion there, Joe. I see Earnhardt, but we got, oh yeah, he did. Yeah, tragically. I don't know how to say this woman's name. Farron Corey. Oh, hello.
Yeah, Farron Corey. Farron Corey, been around a long time. I think she used to date some Major League Baseball players. But she also was famous, Dan, because she had a pet pig, a giant pet pig. And you just don't see that very often. And Farron would, she would like kiss it and things like that for content. So you just don't see that anymore. And so from then on, I've been a Farron Corey fan. If you have a pet pig, ladies, you are going to be in Screencaps. That's just the way it is. That's the pet to have if you're going to be a star.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like that some are calling her the GOAT. Some are saying she dated. Seems like I don't think Aaron Judge, but there is a mention here of Aaron Judge. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel bad. I didn't know her, Joe.
Yeah, she's been around, but I'm glad she's been quiet though, Dan. You know how it is. I put in ladies that pump out a lot of content. Farron, she just slowed down a little bit. I think she hit 30, slowed down a little bit. Now she's ramping back up. It happens to the best of them, Dan.
Yeah, bringing it back. Let's go. Get on that beach and get on that golf course.
Absolutely.
Frederica Morello. I like the name, Frederica. That's nice. Morello. There you go.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I mean, she went a little heavy on the lip injections, Dan. I saw a little
bit, Joe.
And I said, Federica, what in the hell are you doing, girl? I mean, did the doctor not say enough is enough? He just kept pumping those things full of whatever they pump them full of, Dan. It has to stop. Federica has to back off and let those lips live a little bit.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get there, but I did get there. It did. And you know what I also, in this, Joe, when I first saw this outfit, I didn't realize it looked a little mermaid-ish, and then I realized the black on each side were part of the legs. It was a very difficult look for me.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, the full bodysuit with the black. Yeah, a lot going on. A lot going on. I don't know if I could drive straight after looking at this.
Oh, God bless Jess. There you go. God bless Jess, Joe.
Yeah, Jess, let's see her. Yeah, I mean, it's a simple composition. Listen, the length of the string is really annoying, Dan. Like, you got to cut that damn thing off before you take the photo or Photoshop that out. Dan, that is ridiculous. Got to get the string out of there. It's distracting. God bless Jess. Got to clean it up.
Why do you think that's in there, Joe?
Good question. I mean, Allie Ray, the nurse that comes on here every now and then, she said that sometimes the models leave things in so that you get annoyed and then you'll comment. So that could be the play here, Dan. She may have left the string untied real long so that you, the viewer, gets annoyed and then comments. So it could be rage bait. That's what I'm going to go with. I think it's rage bait.
All right. Hey, that's fair enough, Joe. I mean, I makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. NWOY.
Yeah, this is this account is totally dedicated to yoga poses. You just don't listen, Dan, you see yoga poses on Instagram, but you don't usually see the model take it to the next level. They're typically in their their yoga clothes, their yoga pants, not Woy or whatever she goes by. She takes it to the next level. A lot of bikinis, a lot of whatever she's wearing. I don't even know. Is that a bikini? I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I don't know.
I mean, Dan, the composition. Are you kidding me? Like, I always thought this stuff was AI, but I've followed Woy long enough. It's not AI. This Woy dumps out some of the best yoga poses in the world. I don't know if anybody's even close to Woy.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, Joe. I did yoga. I would go an hour a week, and man, I tell you what, I thought yoga was just kind of, dull lights and some stretching. Yoga kick your ass, and to be able to do that is special, absolutely spectacular, Joe.
Pour one out.
Yeah, good. I'm going to look that up. I like yoga. I haven't done it this week, but I do it, and I like it. Okay, all right. We got a perfect shirt for me. What is it? God knew I would be too powerful if I had regular bowel movements. Joe?
Dan,
those on this show know about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, many, many times, Joe, I get up and I get up quick. Real quick.
Oh.
Very quick.
I can't believe this shirt. I can't believe somebody took this to Goodwill. Like, this is a Goodwill shirt. I can't believe somebody left one of these in Goodwill. You would think that you could hand that down to somebody you work with, right?
I would. Well, I mean, if you work with somebody, they may go to HR on you in this day and age, Joe.
That's true. I figure it's
I was told that a new company, Joey, I was told at a new company, I couldn't even ask somebody where they were from. Or hey, those are pretty cool shoes. Where'd you get them? They said you can't do that if you're a man asking a woman. That's what they told me at Radio 1. That's when I left. I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm going to get in trouble because, hey, man, where are you from?
Yeah,
they say that implied you weren't from the United States.
Oh.
So if I ask you where you're from, you're going to say Sylvania or whatever, Dayton, and I'm going to say Maryville, Bloomington, whatever, but you're not allowed to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? Huh? Joe, what's on tap for the weekend, my friend? What's on tap?
I tell you what, I already told the wife we're going to apple pick on Saturday because I am dialed in on Sunday for the NFL. I have the NFL ticket this year. I want to go into the bunker and get focused on the NFL and really dive in this weekend. It's going to be under 70 degrees, so I'm going to be underground focusing in on the NFL.
What a great day, man.
Yeah.
What a great day. I love it. I do. I think it's awesome. All right. Yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Have a fantastic weekend. Love to the whole family. There he goes. There he goes, the great Joe Kinsey. You can catch Screencaps every single day. Every single day, morning and evening, right here on the Outkick Network. I'm giving you one. I'm going to give you one here. I already gave you my prize picks more thans, and one of my prize picks more than was Daniel Jones more than 200.5 yards. A lot of people are poo-pooing that. I've already seen it. No. In your first game back, when you have been benched or you're injured or whatever it is, in your first game, you generally play really, really well. Hey, let's go quick. Last thing. I was a scared kid when I was a kid. I was a scared kid. In my house, we had a Molotov cocktail thrown at our house by a disgruntled student, and my dad started our garage on fire. I was about 12. Multiple break-ins. People took bikes out of our garage and other places. We had a murder of a little girl stabbed 33 times in an empty lot on the next street behind my house. I was a scared kid. And you know what? I would have loved if the National Guard came into my city, Northwest Indiana, Gary, Maryville, and cleaned it up. I'd have been excited. I've not heard one of these politicians, not on either side, not Trump, not anybody doing this, talk about the kids. This jackass that is the Democratic mayor of Chicago, Democratic mayor of New Orleans, Democratic mayor of Washington, D.C., I haven't heard one person talk about kids and how scared kids in these neighborhoods are to even walk home from school or even to go to school. And it really pisses me off. Not one word, zero, zip. Have you ever heard somebody saying, look, we want to make sure that kids feel safe. We want to make sure that kids can go out and play. We want to make sure that kids have a safe environment in their schools. No. All you've heard is politics from old fucking people that are trying to make money somehow, some way off of this. That's what politics has become. I wish Trump and his administration would talk about that because it's real. It's there. Look at older guys as they get older. Isaiah Thomas's story about bullies in his neighborhood, drug dealers in his neighborhood, his brothers protecting him. Those stories are all over the place. Nobody talks about that, and it really has me upset. Kids need to be protected, and if a police department isn't equipped because the mayor, whatever, is too afraid, then the National Guard should step in. They've done a great job in D.C. We got to protect our kids, people. What the hell's wrong with us? See you Monday.